Thank you, Joe. I'm ready to go here.
Thank you so much. And well, that's the end of the show, really. I hope that people found something in this. This is really a response to the question of what does Paul mean by the law? And well, now you know the Pharisees' perspective on the law, why it's different from the Zealots, why it's different from the Sadducees, what were people hoping for, the kind of people, the non-Jews that Paul is writing to, because it's odd sometimes. He writes them as if they're somehow Jewish or their religion is Judaism, but at the same time they're non-Jews, or what are they? Well, now you know. They were people who were trying to be Toshevim in order to get some benefit out of Israel, one way or another, whether spiritual or material. And he's basically saying the real benefit is only going to come if your faith is perfect. So don't expect anything else. Focus on your faith.
It's interesting. Galatians, and if you understand, it was already a very strong Ger Toshav place. So there was those who were looking for greener pastures, perhaps. I mean, we know, like Philippians was written to a Roman city. You had certain cities that had a more Roman, were regions like a Galatia, which was perhaps more influenced by diaspora Jews. You see variations. You really have to understand these contexts and these geographical locations and the demographic makeup and how much of Rome was implemented there, or how much, like you were stating very clearly, how much did they give over to local authorities. So that's all a part of this. It's a very important variable in reading these texts. So
very, very, very important to. And anyway, this is something we have to be aware of. These ideas of federations, independent sovereign states under a federation, autonomy. Also, the idea of the salvation which is supposed to come to the Jews, and the benefit system, which really is a unique thing which people don't look at. And I think that's what's missing. Understand that under the Roman Empire, there was only one nation offering benefits.
It is a political theology. I think you have a great scope in being able to explain that better outside of the loaded terms, as you've been doing a number of recordings on them that people get triggered by. But at the end of the day, Judaism is a political theology, but it is not these kingdoms of this world. It is not how we've seen ourselves divided. It is not these type of systems, especially as you've clearly shared about how congruent the old Shammai Hillel schools are to various realities in Israel today and the world as we have it. The political theology brings us back to we are sojourners. We are in this world to make it a better place. And that's a step of faith. And that means you've got to bloom your planet.
And do it where you are, because you don't need to emigrate to make it a better place.
And we'll deal more with the theologic. You've read it from a very important legal structure, which was, I think, taken by Christianity and turned on its head into a religious legal system, which never really existed. It was a caricature.
It's a caricature
that was set up. And this is what we're still struggling with within Christianity. So whenever you take someone through the book of Romans and Galatians, especially someone who's read Martin Luther's commentary on the Galatians, you're going to get that Roman reaction, an anti-Roman reaction coming out. And that's part of what we're talking about also in Romans still. Anyways, that's all I have to say, Joe.
Thank you very much. And that's really all I've got to say as well. So I hope that you will find that a useful show, a good answer to the questions. And we'll be back later with more from Paul going on through his book of Romans. And we'll also, after we finish the book of Romans, we'll be going and doing the book of Galatians. And with this perspective in mind, you should start to see that Paul is not saying something so complicated, but he is saying the same thing again and again and again and again. But it's not as stupid and as simple as Paul hates the law and he's abrogated it. That's not. No, when you talk about the Torah, no, Paul loves the Torah and he says we should uphold it, but it's a religion, not a state legal system. That has been abolished, has been done away with, and from now on, it's only the religion that matters. And so get your faith in order, because if your faith is not in order, then it doesn't matter how much you observe this religion, you're not going to get anything out of it. It's got to be based on faith, not on a Pascal's wager, and not on the hope of some kind of benefits. All right, then, God bless you all. Take care. Shalom. Bye-bye.
Shalom.